Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I figured I would do one more pour before I go out of town. So yeah, I'm using a repurposed canvas. This is more of an experiment again. I want to challenge myself to use a different dump color. And yes, we'll be doing the colander pour. So right now I'm stirring up my paints. I forgot to double check and stir them right before I went on camera. I want to make sure that the paints don't settle or get lumpy. So that's what I'm doing off to the side there. Just want to make sure that we have a nice smooth paint with no little clumps or lumps, which tend to end up ruining the composition unless you get them out of the paint before that. So I always recommend using a strainer. Once you mix it, strain it just to make sure that you get all the lumps out, and then you should be good to go. But sometimes when the paints sit for a period of time, they do sort of thicken up a little bit. So I was just checking to make sure that they were the right consistency. So I'm using two colors today. What I poured down right there was Sterling Silver by Dazzling Metallics. And then this is Obsidian, which is an extreme sheen color. So I'm just layering a little bit of the Obsidian between the Sterling Silver, and we're going to keep doing that until we are done with the paints. Now I have that little bit of that black line there, which I thought was kind of cool. I was hoping that I would have more delineation between the Obsidian and the Sterling Silver in the final product, but you can take a look at that when you finish the video and tell me what you think. So again, what's interesting, if you've seen some of my more recent pours, I've used blue as a dump color. I have used white, and today I'm using red. And I will tell you that it works out really nicely today, a little bit of foreshadowing. Sorry about that. But I don't know what's wrong with the black. When I get back from my trip, I'm going to probably pull some of the other colors. I know there's purple. I don't know about green and yellow. Those aren't my thing. But you never know. I may get the creative bug and may go ahead and do that. Okay. Let's see here. I think we are pretty much done. I'm mixing up the red paint just to make sure that it's the right consistency and all mixed in. And in just a moment, we will be picking up the colander. Okie doke. Trying to get as much out as I can. The holes are down towards the center and they're not on the sides, and so sometimes I have to move the paint around on the bottom to make sure I can get as much out as I can. So yeah, here we go. Look how bright that red is, and the contrast between the gray and the obsidian. So I'm pouring extra slow today because I don't want the silver and the obsidian to be pushed too far out away from the negative space. So the negative space won't be really huge. I want it to be small as possible, a nice size, but not too small. I don't want it to fill in completely. That's just my preference. So I'm just moving it slowly over the edges. I bring it back a little bit before I go over some of the edges because I want the center of the paint, the best I can, to be towards the center. So when I go over this last corner, I bring it back a little bit as well and try to sort of center it the best I can. Now you can see some of the silver is starting to come through, which I think is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm going to stop talking here for a second and you can watch the rest of the video, and we will go have the walkthrough in just a few moments. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the notes below, or you can email me at dwightpours@yahoo.com. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me, and stay tuned and keep watching. Okay, friends, here we are. What do you think? Yes, that's red. I use Artist Loft Soft Body Red for this dump and swirl, and the silver and the obsidian. So yeah, opens the doors to a lot of possibilities here. So when you get close up, you can see the red just poking through. Some very interesting cells. Now this canvas I've poured over 3 or 4 times, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to dry. We'll have to wait and see. But it was more of a test run because this opens the door to doing so many more dump and swirls with different color dump paint, which I've done in the past, but I haven't done in like a couple of years. I've been obsessed with the black for a while. But we'll see, we'll see. Yeah, look at that. You know, interesting cells, but I think, you know, this is indicative more of a little bit of a sagging canvas. Probably because the weight of the paint is right in there. But, you know, I think it might stay as is. And the bottom line is it had the reaction that I wanted it to have. And when I get back from my trip, guess what? I'm going to be doing some more of these on a larger scale because I think they look really cool that way. Okay, guys, I think that's it for now. I've got to pack, sort of straighten out my house, and I'm going to be heading out of town. So you guys have a great start to your weekend and next week, and I'll see you maybe a week or so from now. Okay, guys, take care.